Maiduguri residents flock back as flood waters recede. Panic grips Zamfara as bandit leader slaps 30 million naira levy on community. NCDC confirms 8 new mpox cases, warns of looming outbreak. On the foreign scene, at least 5 dead in West Bank airstrike as Israeli raids escalate. Good evening and welcome to the news update on Trust Television. I am Aisha Salihu. The news in detail. We'll begin with the devastating effects of the flood, where residents of Maiduguri town, displaced by water from the Alau Dam, are beginning to return to their homes as flood water recedes gradually. Many of the flood victims who slept outside said though the water had subsided, they want to assess their losses. Meanwhile, a situation report on the flood by the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs said more than 239,000 people were affected by the flood. The floods have forced some of the affected people to move to the Muna IDP camp, which was already hosting 50,000 IDPs. The flood incident has affected communication, power, and water supply in most parts of the town. Also, a massive flood has destroyed a bridge on Saminaka-Majire Road, cutting off Majire and 4 other agrarian communities from Saminaka in Lere local government area of Kaduna State. The council chairman, Matthew Bulus Gambo, said the bridge collapse had crippled economic activities in the area. He, however, thanked Governor Ubasani for setting up a committee chaired by his chief of staff, Sanni Killa, to visit the affected areas. Gambo noted that this action demonstrates a commitment to addressing the people's plight. The committee also visited other flood-affected locations within the local government, including Wawan Rafi village, where another bridge collapsed, as well as Nasarawa and Ungwanshuru areas of Saminaka Township. Governor Sani assured that his government would take urgent actions to address the issues faced by the communities and the entire Lere local government area. He promised that in addition to reconstructing the damaged road and bridge, relief materials would be provided to the affected communities. And now to security matters. Residents of Moriki town in Zurmi local government area of Zamfara state are in fear as the deadline given to them by notorious bandits kingpin Bello Turji to pay an imposed 30 million naira levy expires this Wednesday, September 11. The bandit kingpin, in a viral video, imposed the 30 million naira levy on the community following the killing of over 100 cows belonging to him by the military some weeks ago. The dreaded bandit kingpin had earlier demanded that the community pay him 50 million naira, but later reduced it to 30 million naira. An indigent of the town, Abdullahi Moriki, said the community has been sourcing for the money to pay the bandit's leader. According to him, each house owner in the town has been tasked to pay 10,000 naira, while unmarried individuals are to pay 2,000 naira each. When asked if the security agency are aware of the levy and the threat of violence if the payment is not made, Mariki said the security agencies are aware of the whole situation. Confirming the development, the Zamfara State Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Dalijan, said security agencies know the situation. Joining us via phone is Daily Trust Regional Editor Yushau Adamu to give us an update on the situation. Thank you so much for joining us on the news update, Yushau.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, the deadline the bandits gave is September 11. It expires today. What do you think this means for the community if they are unable, by the end of today, if they're unable to raise this money?
Yeah, of course, the deadline ends today, but you know, the pronouncement made by the Minister of Defense, Minister of State for Defense recently, which he said is relocating to Sokoto to flush out bandits, has raised some fears in the minds of bandits. And of course, from the inquiries I have made, many troops, more troops have been deployed to local areas like Zurmi, Shinkapi, and what have you. Even this evening, I confirmed from 3 residents of this village, Moriki, whom they confirmed that additional soldiers were deployed to the area. And beside the soldiers, the state government also sent more personnel of the Community Protection Guard, that is a state-owned security outfit. So some residents have expressed hope that this time around the government has listened to their calls. They have deployed more military to protect their lives and properties. So some residents are still in panic because they said these bandits can dare the military and probably attack the village. But they said the military are well prepared for them because the team leader of the military has given them assurance that they are more than ever ready to face the bandits that dare them to come and attack the Morik community.
Okay, Yushao, I don't know if you have had a one-on-one conversation with members of these communities. We're hearing that households are asked to pay 10,000 naira and unmarried individuals to pay 2,000 naira. Well, how would you say the compliance of this payment has been, with the recent economic hardship?
Well, some of the people that I have spoken with them, sincerely speaking, none of them told me that there was arrangement for each and individual household to pay certain amount. Well, some of them have said that they have not paid the money, but some portion of the community have started gathering money, but they don't know how they gathered, whether through individual or household or what have you.
I know you stated earlier that there are still fears among members of this community, but if today passes, what do you think it may likely happen?
Well, if the bandits dare the government or the security personnel, of course they will attempt to attack the village or community. But the presence of soldiers and other security personnel, I can assure you that yes, they can face the bandits. So probably there would be an encounter between the bandits and the security personnel.
Thank you so much, Yushawa Damo, for bringing us up to speed on the latest development regarding this particular demand by the bandits in the community in Zamfara State. We can only hope that the deployment of security agencies in that particular community brings hope and restores peace and security to the members of the community. Thank you so much for your input.
Thank you.
Away from that, the chairman of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives in Kaduna State, Ishaku Yakubu, has condemned the recent abduction of health workers in Kuyelo, a village in the troubled Birnin-Gwari local government area of the state. The chairman said it is unfortunate that the medical and health workers were abducted while saving the lives of the people in the remote community. Trustee Viz Bello Musa has more.
The abduction of patients and health workers by a bandit who invaded a hospital at Kuyelo, a rural community in Birnin-Gwari local government area, comes a little over 24 hours after an incident of kidnapping and killing of locals was also recorded at Kalla community in Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State. According to the Kaduna State chapter of the Association of Nurses and Midwives, the ugly event is a threat to health workers, especially in the rural community.
But in a situation where, one, the health facility is not secured, the health worker himself will be afraid to go there. In fact, even the patients too are afraid to go to some health facilities, especially the primary health care centers that are in the communities. So one, if the patient is afraid to go, health is affected. People will not seek for help. So it's a major problem. Secondly, the healthcare worker that is supposed to go and provide the health is also afraid to go there.
Other stakeholders and residents of Kaduna are also expressing concern with the lingering insecurity in Kaduna and the North in general, calling for more synergy between the security agencies to tackle the menace.
We keep on seeing no efforts. What we see is a continued insurgency, abduction, kidnapping, killings.
We need to believe that we are all one in Nigeria. So Nigeria is a single country, and we all have a common interest, which our common interest is the whole country should be at peace. For us to achieve progress in this country, we must have that unity, keeping all tribes aside, being Nigerians first before being from any other region.
Opinions. We will work with the private sector. We will work with the press. We will work with everybody, the elite. This is an existential condition that affects all of us, and we need to approach it from that perspective. Everyone is a stakeholder.
Besides Kuyelo health workers who are now in the hands of the bandit, Dr. Ganiat Popola of the National Eye Care Center Kaduna is still in captivity months after she was kidnapped at her residence at the staff quarters. Bella Musa, Cross TV News Kaduna.
Still on matters of security, the Rivers State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps says its operatives have busted an illegal oil dump site and impounded a truck laden with adulterated petroleum products in Igbo Eche in Eche local government area of Rivers State. The newly deployed NSCDC commandant in the state, Joachim Okafor, said this while briefing newsmen at the command in Port Harcourt. The report.
The Rivers NSCDC commandant called on all officers and men to increase their intelligence skills in order to gather credible information that would enhance the arrest of vandals and illegal bunkerers in the state.
Our country's crude oil production is reducing because of vandalism of pipelines and crude oil theft. We can't continue to fold our hands while this menace is going on. We must checkmate them.
Okafor also took newsmen to an abandoned construction site in Igbo Eche where over 70 tanks of crude were stored.
My coming has exposed them, and we keep on exposing them until they stop. They must relocate from Rivers State because Rivers State will not be conducive for all of us. They better relocate. So we are going to evacuate the products to our exhibit yard, and at the same time we will sell the compound while our investigation will continue for those having the compound, for those doing this business to be exposed, and we're going to prosecute.
He thanked the Rivers State Governor Siminala Ifubara for his continued support and further appealed for more, especially in terms of operational vehicles as the local government elections approaches.
Justice Emeka Nwike of the Federal High Court in Abuja on Wednesday granted 10 bad governance protesters who were arrested and detained for treason, among others, to a bail in the sum of 10 million naira each and one surety in like sum. While delivering the ruling, the trial judge held that Nigeria's criminal justice system has its stipulations for the prosecutor and the defendant. Justice Nwite agreed with the argument of the first, second and fourth defendants' counsel, Abubakar Marshall, that anybody charged with a criminal offense must be presumed innocent until proven guilty. The chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Safety Standards and Regulations, Suleiman Abubakar Gumi, says safety in the Nigerian electricity sector cannot be compromised. He said this during the Nigeria Electricity Supply Industry Safety Conference at the National Assembly Complex in Abuja. The committee said it would collaborate with the Association for Public Policy Analysis and other stakeholders working in the power sector to organize the conference. He said despite efforts by the federal government to address issues of safety in the sector, problems still exist. These problems, the lawmaker said, include vandalism, theft, installation of electricity by non-licensed electrical installers, production, marketing and use of substandard electrical materials, among others. He said the situation calls for enforcement of laws and policies to strengthen and enhance safety standards and regulations.
Like I said, it is a collective effort. One organization cannot. If SON allows substandard cables to come in, it's not necessary NEMSA would know, but LECAN people that are at the end users would always know that this is substandard products. Now, are they speaking with NEMSA? Are they reporting cases to NEMSA, or are they just applying them and use on clients that don't even know what is genuine or not? Now, this is designed to address that. We want all the stakeholders to be speaking to one another, and they have to learn to speak to one another. I think this should be a fallout of the conference, by the grace of God. Yeah.
This is a news update on Trust Television. Still ahead. Stakeholders canvass for patriotism to reposition Nigeria's political fortunes. More news when return. Do stay with us. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Let's take a look at our top stories again. Maiduguri residents flock back as flood waters recede. Panic grips Zamfara as bandit leader slaps 30 million naira levy on community. Moving to other stories and in health. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention has confirmed 8 new cases of Mpox in the country, with fresh cases recorded in Gombe, Plateau and Akwa Ibom State. At a press briefing in Abuja, the Director General of the NCDC, Jide Idris, said so far 67 cases have been confirmed in 23 states and the FCT out of the 1,031 suspected cases from 35 states and the FCT. On cholera, the agency said it has recorded 141 suspected cases and 1 death, with a case rate of 0.7% fatality in Katsina, Lagos, Kano, Jigawa and Adamawa State. So far, 216 deaths have been recorded from a total of 7,663 suspected cases in the country. Although the Director General hinted of a decline in the number of cholera cases, he said more cases will break in the coming weeks due to flooding in some parts of the country. As Nigeria continues to battle economic challenges such as high inflation, foreign exchange rate volatility and others that threaten its growth and stability, many believe that a key contributory factor to these identified challenges is the erosion of values and lack of patriotism by both leaders and citizens. According to this set of Nigerians, value reorientation, which entails deliberately redirecting the attitudes and beliefs of Nigerians towards embracing the virtues of patriotism, will enable the country build a crop of pro-Nigeria leaders. Neil Sampson has more.
According to some FCT residents, proper value reorientation will ensure the stability of the individual and boost consistency in positive behavior, which transcends to a leadership that places value on nationalism. While identifying the most appropriate gap to target the reorientation campaign, these residents believe that it is not too late for Nigerians to retrace her steps.
Youth should be targeted. Like I rightly said before, youth should be targeted. Why did I say youth should be targeted? Because they are the future. They are the destiny-born set of people right now.
We need to change our values, the way we look at things, our perspective towards doing things. This thing has eaten deep into the fabrics of the nation. So I don't think, I think the whole nation, there shouldn't be any age grade, but though the kids in the primary and the secondary school, maybe if they could, if they can inculcate such values on them from the younger age, probably they won't grow up with this.
I don't think that we are far gone in any sense, because we are largely at the base of our society. We are largely a cultural society and a religious one at that, and all of these nuances come with their own values and orientation for the citizens. Across all board, you can't, there's no one strategy fits all, but value orientation has to be across all board, from your playpen age all the way down to your adulthood, or to a way older age actually. So we can't say that this is the age grade per se, But it is very, very important that the NOA, for example, understands that there is a way to communicate with children, there's a way to communicate with adolescents, and there are ways to communicate with adults, and there are ways to communicate with the aged people as well. So I think if we put all of these nuances into consideration, it becomes a bit easier for us to find ways to communicate with people.
The National Orientation Agency, meanwhile, says it has been strategizing on the best approach that will ensure that everyone is taken along in the value reorientation process in order to make Nigeria a better place for all.
NOA is undergoing a significant restructuring and demonstrating its adaptability to the changing population landscape. Nigeria had a more balanced demographic during the MAMSA. However, in the last 3 decades, the Nigerian demographics have shifted dramatically, with youth 45 years and below constituting 93% of the country's population. This profound shift has not gone unnoticed by NOA, and we are actively adjusting our strategies to effectively engage this new majority.
For any society to experience positive and sustainable growth, positive values must be upheld and encouraged. This is because where social values have decayed and the development sets in. No, Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
At developments away from Nigeria, an Israeli airstrike on Wednesday killed at least 5 people in the West Bank city of Tubas. Palestinian Emergency Services said as Israeli security forces continued an extended operation that the military said targeted Iranian-backed militant groups. The Palestinian Red Crescent said rescue crews had recovered 5 bodies at the site and had transferred them to hospital. The Israeli military also confirmed the strike, which it said had hit an armed militant group, but gave no details. Entrances and exits from Tubas were sealed off, and Israeli military vehicles, including road diggers and armored personnel carriers, could be seen moving through the city close to the border with Jordan at the northern end of the West Bank. Heavy clashes between Israeli forces and Palestinian fighters have been reported, while streets and infrastructure in all 3 cities have suffered extensive damage as Israeli forces have dug up roads and targeted militant bases. On Tuesday, a Palestinian man and woman were killed during an Israeli raid on Tulkarm, Palestinian health authorities said. And in sports, the Nigeria Premier Football League has rescheduled the Match Day 2 encounters involving Rangers and Enyimba respectively. Rangers are billed to take on Ikorodu City, while Enyimba were expected to take on Lobby Stars. The encounter, which was initially scheduled to be played on Sunday, September 15, has been moved to Wednesday, September 25. The game was moved due to both teams' CAF Champions League and CAF Confederation Cup engagements. The NPFL Chief Operating Officer, Davidson Owomi, made the announcement in a memo sent to both clubs on Wednesday. Rangers will lock horns with Angolan side Sagrada Esperança at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo, while Enyimba will battle Echale Filante de Ouagadougou in Mali. And that concludes the news update on Trust Television at this hour. Do not forget, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I am Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for watching.